Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, and Yunus Musa. Whew. That is an athletic midfield. I love the mentality. They're pressing all over the pitch. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I just want to bring up the fact, I just want to ask you, how many mistakes did we force out of Wales in that first half? And that's all down to the tenacity of those three players that you're talking about. Like, I could name at least a handful of mistakes that we made good opportunities out of.
Yeah, and that was the thing I think I liked most about the way we played in the first half was just how high we were pressing up the field. That's something we haven't quite seen from the U.S. under Greg Berhalter. A lot of times we've been a low block, slow possession buildup. We're pressing high up the field, and we're getting chances. We're going right at it. The best chance of the match was to Conrad De La Fuente when he had the ball along that little right wing. That was just down to us pressing high up the field.
Mm-hmm. And it took us a few minutes to get out of the back. We were holding a lot of possession in the back for a little bit, but once we started pushing up the field further, it seemed like we were choking Wales. Like they could not even get a breath after just our constant midfield possession. And a lot of that comes down to, I'd say, my favorite player so far to watch, hands down, Weston McKennie, man.
Weston's the best player on the field. It's not even close.
100% right out of the gates. He took this game. He took it over, and he has been nonstop an engine in the midfield.
Like you said, he's the engine. The dude, defensively, there was one period in time where he's dropping back. I think it was when Wales had the ball along the right flank. He drops back, wins the ball back, and then does a little roulette move, spins away from three guys, and goes and starts the counterattack. And, he's just showing that he's taken the next step. He's next level right now from where he was even before his move over to Juventus.
Yeah, and I know in our last episode of the podcast, you talked about a strong central core being like the leading force behind this team, and it looks like Weston McKennie on his own, he is more than capable of being the strong heart of this team. He has every player on the team, going through him, as well as he has every player on Wales having to go through him too. He's everywhere on the field, touching every blade of grass. I think he's a great signing for Juventus. He is the type of player that any team should want.
And going off of Weston McKennie, moving to Tyler Adams, I was very impressed with him too. Similarly, especially in defense, he was all over the field. Obviously, he wasn't quite making the same runs as Weston was, but he had that long shot. It was blocked, I believe, by I don't remember exactly who blocked it. It might have been Davies for Wales, but he won the ball back quickly, took one touch to his right foot, hit one hard, and forced a save out of Danny Ward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that midfield. Those two in the midfield has been really special to watch, just because I think it seems like they've been incorporated into this system more so. It looks like even the system surrounding them, even because we've seen Gio even seems a bit frustrated. Obviously, Gio's not having the night he's been wanting to, but it seems like this midfield is where the action's mostly happening.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Gio. We're going to go now up to the front line. Gio Reyna and Conrad De La Fuente now going just by Conrad, getting his first start. What were your first impressions of them? I don't think it exactly was their night. We've seen a lot better from them, and the two of them kind of struggled to get into the match so far early.
Yeah, hands down. At least we know Gio's quality, but tonight he's not been on it for sure. I don't know if it's just a matter of how we're playing right now. It just seems like the ball hasn't been coming to him all that much in great positions. But definitely for Conrad's been lively. I like his press. I like every time he gets on the ball, he looks threatening. But again, we got to ask more out of these. I say that, but they're both 17, right? We're saying we have to ask more out of our 17-year-olds. But I just know the quality they both have, and they can even take it up a notch.
It feels like we're just missing that final ball right now. A lot of the times we're winning the ball back, a couple little nice interplay in the midfield, and then the timing's just not there between Conrad or Gio and then the midfielder like Tyler Adams or Yunus Musa, Weston McKennie, those guys. Even John Brooks. I was impressed with John Brooks' passing a lot today.
Yeah, he had a couple great passes. That's right.
The one along to Anthony Robinson where it set up a cross for him.
Mm-hmm.
And going off the crossing side of it, Sebastian Lletget in the false nine. We heard Greg Berhalter mention in his press conference that we might be seeing a false nine in this game You talked about Christian being in that role, but the possible injury to Jalkini may have forced his hand and putting Leggett up top, and Leggett has not really been a factor. He had a little flick on after that great little interplay we saw between Gio and Serge on the right flank, and then he had a little flick try and get the ball on goal. But other than that, he just hasn't really.
Yeah, I just want to talk about that opportunity real quick. Can you believe that the United States men's national team is playing football that flashy, that elegance, and that? I mean, you just see Serge on the right hand side throwing out moves like it's nothing.
He is so crafty. I mean, in the final third, he is such a dangerous player. I mean, he is at one point he just like that, boom, the little stop go, and he's right by a defender and
has that cross into the center.
Yeah. I think the next step for him maybe to develop some goals into his game, maybe develop a little bit of a left-handed shot, almost that little Messi move. Obviously, he's right-footed, but still, I mean, he's a player.
Yeah.
And I just feel like right now, for a player like him, I want to see him play with the likes of a Josie Altidore, maybe even a Sebastian Soto or a Tim Weah later in this match that will get in the box and will, trying to be attacking crosses and try and create goal-scoring opportunities from that way.
Yeah, I will add that I'm personally, I don't know if I'm too fond of the false nine quite yet, just because I think with all our creative players up front, whether it's Gio or Conrad or someone of that nature, even Desch off the right, I think we're lacking a target man right now to feed into, and Leggett, I don't think as a false nine is getting that down, because we have so much creativity coming off the sides, and we need somebody to feed into.
Yeah, and like you said, maybe that's Sebastian Soto coming off the bench. Maybe Jalkini didn't get injured, and it was just a late-time switch. They wanted to throw in Yunus Musa. But, I mean, like I said, that midfield, I think, is where we're winning this game. The possession right now is 68-32, and we've been the better side so far this game, and it's not even close.
Hands down. Yeah, and it's not really much about the scoreline, really. It's because, these players haven't really had a sniff of national team football for 200 whatever days, and so I think more so it's just about seeing the quality that these players have rather than the system right now. It's about seeing where these players will fit into the team, and so I'm not really expecting an all-around masterclass right now. I'm just expecting some of the puzzle pieces to start fitting into place, and some of the questions start to get answered now.
And it's clear the talent is there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guys are there. There's a reason they're playing at some of the best clubs in the world. You see the moves from Weston McKennie. Yunus Musa is so calm on the ball. Even Gio Reyna, while he's had a pretty quiet game for a player of his quality, there have been some moments in there where you're just like, wow, this kid's got it. And, you see Serginho Dest just constantly, always being a danger on that right-hand side. The talent is there. These guys just need to play together and get comfortable with each other. We talked about Musa Conrad not being able to get, quite into the game, and Gio not being quite able to get into the game. And a lot of that's just the timing is not there between the midfield and the defense and them in their runs. We got to get to a point where when the striker or the false nine drops deep and Conrad makes that run, that Tyler Adams can play that ball at the same time, and the timing's there so he can get there and get in behind and create chances against the opposition.
And the thing is, that's all stuff that can be fixed. That's something that's gonna be fixed within the system. Greg's gonna be working on this and getting this team more comfortable to work together. So I'm not expecting any of that. I mean, it would be great to see it now, but I'm not expecting any of that, at least for a couple more camps as these players start to play together. But like you said, the talent is there, and that's the one thing that we came to see today. And it's for sure on display in full force. And that's all. I don't care if we lose 3-0. What matters, what the biggest takeaway is seeing that we have this talent to work with. The system can be worked with and tampered with so that we're more effective later on. But right now, seeing this talent at work is just extra special.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see the progression between today's match and then the next game against Panama. These players have only had 3 or 4, days together in camp with each other. Give it a week. They play Panama, I believe on Monday. And I think it's going to be night and day between these guys. Obviously, I think it's going to be a different team that we see. We probably don't see the likes of Tim Weah, Sebastian Soto. Those guys get chances from the start of the match, but the difference in the way they play and the timing is just going to be next level. And it's going to be a process, and the process is what I'm super excited to see, because come January camp, where are we going to be then? and then come the match is just about starting. So we're going to have to
Just about
get it
starting.
wrapped
We're
up,
going
but,
back.
come qualifying.
All right. You have any updates to your score prediction? You still going 3-2?
I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0.
I think that we're going to
Okay.
create some good opportunities coming off. I think Gio might get involved a little bit more. And I'm going to say Sebastian Soto coming off the bench from Serginho Descross.
Okay. I could still see a 2-1. I'm holding strong to that because Wales do seem like they have an X factor, whether it's from more with that height on us, or else if they bring in someone like Dan James, or they already have the pace on the left. So if they bring in more pace, then who knows what'll happen. So I'm sticking to 2-1, United States.
Thank you guys all for joining. Go check out our YouTube channel, Spotify, wherever you want to get your podcasts. We're on there. Stars and Strikes, The Road to Qatar 2022. We'll be back for some post-match content later. See you guys.